Hey everyone! Are you ready to take your English listening skills to the next level? In today's video, we've put together a fantastic listening practice session designed to help you understand native speakers more easily. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's improve your English together. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Let's get started.
Hey Chloe! It is so good to finally sit down and catch up with you. We both just got back to the city after the New Year break, and I've been meaning to ask how your holiday back home was.
Oh, Alex, it was absolutely wonderful, but it went by way of a flash. Going back home for the New Year season always feels like entering a completely different world compared to our busy lifestyle here. How about you? Did you enjoy your Western New Year days off, or were you already thinking about your traditional Lunar New Year?
To be honest, I enjoyed the days off, but my mind is completely fixed on the Lunar New Year right now. In my hometown, even though we have a couple of days off for the Solar New Year, it is treated mostly just as a calendar transition. The real preparation, the real energy, and the true holiday spirit are all building up for Tet, which is only a few weeks away. It's a very interesting contrast because while you are wrapping up your biggest holiday of the year, my family is just getting started with the chaotic preparations.
That makes perfect sense. For us, January 1st is the absolute peak and conclusion of our festive season. Everything builds up from late November, goes through Christmas, and culminates on New Year's Day. Once January 2nd hits, the holiday lifestyle is completely over for us. But for you, the anticipation is just beginning. What is the atmosphere like in your hometown right now as everyone prepares for the Lunar New Year?
It is pure chaos, but a very joyful kind of chaos. Everyone is rushing around to finish their work for the year, paying off debts, and starting the massive tradition of deep cleaning. In our lifestyle, you absolutely cannot enter the new year with a dirty house or unresolved issues. We believe that cleaning the house before the new year sweeps away all the bad luck and misfortunes of the old year to make room for good luck to enter.
The concept of cleaning for luck is so deeply cultural. For my family, we definitely clean up before our New Year's Eve parties, but it's purely practical. We want the house to look nice for the guests we invite over for dinner. There is no spiritual element attached to the dust or the broom. In fact, many people back home spend the days right after the New Year throwing away their holiday decorations or packing things into boxes.
That sounds so abrupt to me. For us, the decorations are a massive part of the lifestyle during the entire first month of the Lunar New Year. Right now, families in my hometown are scouting for the perfect peach blossom branches or kumquat trees. My hometown is in the north of Vietnam, so the delicate pink of peach blossoms is the definitive symbol of the season. The bright orange of the kumquat fruit symbolizes wealth and prosperity. You see these trees being transported on the back of thousands of motorbikes in the streets. It completely changes the visual landscape of the town.
The image of a city filled with pink blossoms and orange trees sounds incredibly beautiful and warm. For our new year, the visuals are very different. Because it is freezing cold in the west during this time, our decorations are all about creating internal warmth. We use deep greens from pine trees, bright reds, and lots of gold ornaments. And instead of living blossom branches, we use a lot of artificial lighting, fairy lights on the roof, candles on the dinner table, and fire in the fireplace. It's a lifestyle dictated by the harsh winter weather.
The weather really does shape the lifestyle and the culture, doesn't it? For us, the Lunar New Year literally means the arrival of spring. Even if the weather in the north is chilly and drizzling, it represents rebirth, growth, and new beginnings. Because of that, our holiday lifestyle is incredibly outdoor-centric and communal. You don't just stay inside with your immediate family. You are expected to step out and visit your entire network of relationships, family, neighbors, teachers, and friends.
That is a huge difference from how we spend our New Year's Day. For us, New Year's Eve on December 31st is highly social. We go to big parties, countdown squares, or bars with friends to drink champagne. But New Year's Day itself, January 1st, is incredibly quiet and domestic.
If you stayed in your pajamas all day on the first day of Tet, your parents would probably be very upset. For us, the first 3 days of the Lunar New Year are highly structured. This means the first day is strictly for your father's side of the family, the second day is for your mother's side, and the third day is dedicated to showing respect to your teachers. You must put on your best new clothes and travel from house to house to deliver formal wishes of health and longevity.
That level of social obligation sounds almost exhausting, Alex. How do people manage that much socializing without getting burnt out?
It can be exhausting, but the cultural mindset is different. We are a collectivist society, so our individual comfort often comes second to maintaining community harmony. During the first few days of Tet, the doors to everyone's houses in my village are literally wide open. You don't need to call ahead or make an appointment. You just walk in, sit down at the living room table, and the host will immediately pour you a hot cup of green tea and offer a tray of candied fruits. If you keep your front door closed during these days, neighbors might think you are unfriendly or hiding something bad.
I think I would have a cultural panic attack if someone just walked into my parents' house without warning on New Year's Day. In the West, privacy is a major component of our lifestyle. Our home is our sanctuary, especially during holidays. If someone wants to visit, they must call days in advance, and the host has to formally prepare. The open-door policy you describe shows an incredible level of trust and shared community space that we simply don't have in modern Western cities.
It really highlights the difference between Western individualism and Eastern collectivism. Another major manifestation of this is the spiritual ritual we perform on New Year's Eve. For you, midnight is about counting down, cheering, and kissing your loved ones. For us, midnight, which we call Jiaothua, is the most solemn, quiet, and sacred moment of the year. My mother prepares 2 elaborate altars filled with food, one inside the house for our ancestors and one outside in the courtyard for the deities. At the exact stroke of midnight, my father burns incense and prays in total silence. We believe the spirits of our ancestors actually return to the physical world to celebrate the new year with us.
That is deeply moving, Alex. The concept of maintaining a continuous relationship with your ancestors through food and ritual is beautiful. In our New Year celebrations, the spiritual element is much more detached, if it exists at all. Some religious families might attend a church service on New Year's Eve, but for the majority of the population, the midnight moment is completely secular and commercialized. It's about fireworks, pop music concerts, and looking forward to the future, rather than looking backward to honor the past.
Ancestor worship is the bedrock of our lifestyle. Even the food we prepare for the holiday must be offered to the ancestors first before any living person can taste it. And the food itself is a massive reflection of our history. The ultimate signature dish for our new year is bonchung. It is a square-shaped cake made of sticky rice, mung beans, and pork belly, wrapped in green leaves and boiled for 12 hours straight. The square shape represents the earth, a concept that dates back thousands of years in our agricultural history.
A 12-hour boiling process. That requires an incredible amount of communal labor. For our New Year's feast, the food is also heavy and traditional, usually a large roasted turkey, a baked ham with a sweet glaze, mashed potatoes, and gravy, but the preparation is mostly done inside a modern oven. It takes a few hours, but it doesn't require the whole family to sit together and watch it. I've heard that making bonchung is a whole social event in itself, right?
Absolutely. The cooking process is actually more important than the eating. The night before Tet, the entire extended family gathers around a massive pot over an open wood fire in the yard. Because it takes 12 hours, we stay up all night, keeping the fire alive, drinking tea, and telling stories about the past year. It's the ultimate bonding lifestyle. Young children learn about their family history during these hours around the fire.
That sounds like a beautiful living tradition. Our New Year food lifestyle is much more focused on individual presentation. We have formal place settings, individual plates, and specific silverware for each course. The food is served, and everyone piles up their own individual plate. In contrast, your meals are completely communal, aren't they?
Yes, we don't use individual plates for separate portions. All the dishes, the bonchung, the boiled chicken, the traditional pork sausage called jiao, are placed in the center of the table in shared bowls and platters. Everyone uses their chopsticks to take a small piece of food directly from the central dish to their mouth or their small rice bowl. It forces you to constantly look at others, share the best pieces of meat with the elders, and interact. You cannot just isolate yourself with your own plate of food.
I really admire that, but I also imagine it comes with a lot of unspoken social etiquette that an outsider like me might easily mess up.
Oh, definitely. There is a strict age hierarchy at the dining table. You cannot just sit down and start eating. Before the meal begins, the youngest people must formally invite every single elder to eat in order of age. I have to say, I invite my grandparents to eat, I invite my parents to eat. Only after the elders give their permission can the meal officially start. It's a daily practice of respect that becomes even more formalized during the new year.
That is incredibly respectful. In my culture, we don't have a spoken hierarchy like that. The closest thing we have is saying grace, which is a collective prayer of thanks before the meal, usually led by whoever cooked or the head of the household. Once that is done, everyone just starts passing dishes around. We do have manners, like asking, "Could you please pass the gravy," instead of reaching across someone's face, but the order of who eats first is not strictly determined by age.
Another thing I notice about the lifestyle during these holiday feasts is the drinking culture. At our New Year gatherings, the men, especially, drink traditional rice wine or beer using small cups. The atmosphere gets very loud because every time someone wants to take a drink, they must toast the entire table or a specific person out loud, shouting "Mot, Hi, Ba, Vio." It's a high-energy, collective experience.
That is so funny to contrast with a Western family dinner. For our New Year or holiday dinners, the alcohol is usually wine or champagne, and the atmosphere is kept relatively quiet and sophisticated. We might have soft jazz playing in the background, and people converse in lower tones with the person sitting next to them. Shouting out a loud toast every 5 minutes would be seen as highly disruptive to the cozy, relaxed vibe we try to cultivate.
It's because our definitions of a good holiday atmosphere are completely opposite. In the West, your goal seems to be peace, quiet, and relaxation. In Vietnam, our goal during holidays is to achieve what we call vui or non nip, which means lively, crowded, energetic, and slightly chaotic. If a house is too quiet during Tet, the hosts will actually feel anxious that their celebration is a failure or that their guests are not having a good time.
That explains the different lifestyles so perfectly. Our holiday lifestyle is an internal retreat. We use the winter New Year break to completely unplug from the world, read books, watch classic movies under a blanket, and mentally reset our brains for the coming year. It seems your holiday lifestyle is an external explosion of energy, social connection, and community realignment.
It really is. By the end of the holiday, most Vietnamese people are physically exhausted from all the traveling, cooking, and socializing, but mentally fulfilled because their social bonds have been renewed. And this external energy extends to the spiritual world as well. During the first week of the new year, millions of people visit Buddhist pagodas. We go there to burn incense, pray for our family's health, and buy a small branch of greenery which symbolizes bringing wealth home.
We don't really have a New Year ritual like visiting a temple for luck. The most common Western New Year lifestyle tradition is making a New Year's resolution. On January 1st, individuals sit down and write a list of personal goals for self-improvement, like going to the gym, eating healthier, or saving more money. It is a completely individualistic tradition focused on personal growth and self-discipline for the future.
Our focus is less on personal resolutions and more on cosmic harmony. We have a major tradition called Zong Dat, which translates to the first footing. The very first person who steps across the threshold of your house after midnight on New Year's Day is believed to determine the family's luck for the entire year. Because of this, we don't leave it to chance. My father will calculate based on the Eastern zodiac which relative or neighbor has a cosmic element that perfectly matches the house owner. We will formally invite that specific person to be our first guest.
Wow, that is an incredible amount of cosmic pressure on that one guest. If I were invited to be the first foot for a Vietnamese family, I would be terrified that if they had financial trouble 6 months later, it would be blamed on my bad energy. We don't have anything that ties an individual's presence to the cosmic luck of another household like that.
It sounds superstitious, but it creates a very beautiful lifestyle element where people are highly conscious of the energy and wishes they bring into a home. When you visit someone during Tet, you only speak of positive things. You absolutely cannot argue, use profanity, or speak about death or sadness. If a child cries, the adults will quickly comfort them instead of scolding them, because crying on New Year's Day is thought to bring a sad year. The lifestyle becomes a performance of absolute positivity.
That must create a very harmonious environment, even if it feels a bit forced at times. For our New Year parties, people definitely try to be happy, but we are also very open about complaining about the past year or joking about our failures. It's a different way of processing. We use humor and irony to let go of the old year, whereas you use strict positive focus to manifest a good new year.
Exactly. Even the way we dress reflects this performance of tradition. During the new year, you will see a massive resurgence of the Ao Dai, our traditional long dress, worn by both men and women in the streets. It's a beautiful lifestyle choice that connects modern city youths with their rural and historical roots. Do you have a traditional costume for the new year?
Not a traditional historical costume, no. The modern lifestyle trend for holiday parties in the West has actually turned into something funny called the ugly sweater tradition, where people just wear highly glamorous glittery dresses for New Year's Eve. But on New Year's Day itself, as I said, the costume is usually just a pair of comfortable sweatpants. It's entirely about comfort rather than cultural display.
The contrast in outdoor activities is also fascinating. In my hometown, the local commune organizes traditional festivals in the fields during the new year. They set up giant bamboo swings, organize human chess games, and have dragon dance troupes performing to the loud rhythm of traditional drums. The entire village gathers in the open air to watch and participate.
For our New Year season, the outdoor activities are highly commercialized or tied to nature in a different way. People go ice skating on temporary rinks set up in the city centers, or they drive out to botanical gardens that have been transformed with millions of colorful fairy lights. It's beautiful, but it's a passive consumption of entertainment rather than a participatory village game like human chess.
It shows how the structure of society remains different. Even though Vietnam is modernizing rapidly, our holiday lifestyle during the new year pulls us straight back into the agricultural village mentality where everyone knows everyone. But eventually, the holiday must end. For you, the transition back to normal life happens very suddenly on January 2nd, right?
Yes, it's almost brutal. On January 1st, you are in this magical, slow-paced holiday bubble. On January 2nd, the alarm clock rings early, the holiday lights are turned off, people throw their pine trees out on the curb for garbage collection, and everyone commutes back to the office in the dark winter morning. The lifestyle shift happens in 24 hours, and it often causes what we call the post-holiday blues. How does the holiday end for you?
Our transition is much slower and gentler. The official public holiday lasts for about a week, but the festive spirit actually lingers for the entire first lunar month. On the 4th or 5th day of Tet, families perform a ritual called Hoa Vang, where we burn paper offerings to formally send the spirits of our ancestors back to their realm. This signals the end of the core family rituals, and people start traveling back to the major cities. But even when we return to work, the pace is very slow for the first week, and people continue to wish each other a happy new year well into the next month.
I think I highly prefer your method of a slow fade out. It gives the human psyche time to adjust back to reality. Listening to you describe your upcoming holiday makes me realize that while our cultures use the new year to achieve the same human goal, to mark the passage of time, honor family, and hope for a better future, our lifestyles are completely different. Yours is a vibrant, collective celebration deeply tied to the soil and the ancestors, while mine is a cozy, private, individualistic pause from the demands of modern life.
That is a perfect way to summarize it, Chloe. Neither lifestyle is superior, they both fulfill what the human spirit needs during a transition period. I love the idea of your quiet, cozy winter nights, and I'm sure you would find the loud, warm energy of a Vietnamese village during Tet to be unforgettable. Next year, you should definitely travel to Vietnam to experience it with my family.
I would absolutely love that, Alex. It sounds like an incredible cultural experience. But you have to promise me that you will calculate the zodiac signs perfectly so I don't accidentally walk through your door first.
Don't worry, I will make sure my uncle handles the first footing, and your only job will be to wear a nice outfit, enjoy the bonchon, and receive lucky money in red envelopes.
It's a deal. Thank you for this amazing conversation, Alex. It really opens my eyes to how diverse the world is, even when we are celebrating the exact same concept of a new beginning.
Same here, Chloe. Let's make this solar new year a great start for both of us, and I'll keep you updated when my lunar celebrations begin.